Hello, everyone. I'm Camille, your host for the Creative Communities TV series, a show created to allow people to communicate their stories in their own creative way. So, welcome back to another episode with us. I'm so glad that we are on the second episode. Thank you also for listening and for keeping up with this show. You guys are such a blessing. And also, I can express how grateful I am for your support. Thank you so much. Today, we are over the moon to introduce you to our beautiful guest, which I can't wait to have in the podcast. In this episode, she will help us chart our paths to financial freedom from scratch. Come on. We have a businesswoman, wife, a mother, and a professional financial advisor from True Abundance, only here in Creative Communication TV series. Bethany Kennedy. Hello, Bethany. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for inviting me.
How's life?
Uh,
How's kids? How's your husband? How's your family?
They are all doing well. It's summer, so that's nice. And
No, really.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
summer.
yeah.
So what Celsius or Fahrenheit right
So
now?
we're in, it's very, very mild here. So we're about the 70s. So it's Fahrenheit. So it's not
Mm.
too bad. We're in northwest of the United States in Washington State. So since we homeschool, we are
Oh,
sort of, we're not really off school ever. It's a learning opportunity comes up all the time. And so they are learning on being, entrepreneurs. And I was going to say little, but they're actually, most of them are bigger than I am.
so you mentioned about homeschool. So
Yeah.
you homeschool your kids.
Hmm.
Oh, wow. How is it? Like, how is it feeling? Like you're an entrepreneur, you're a businesswoman, and then you are homeschooling your children. So,
Yeah.
is it like too
Well,
much? Is it like overwhelming?
yeah, that's how I roll. But but it's my husband and I are a team. We do it together. We have homeschooled them since the beginning. So we have a total of 8 children, and we've been married for
Really?
28
Wow.
years. Yeah. So our eldest is like 24, and the life lessons just keep going. So it's not about like we were talking about, it's more like it's not about school, it's about we're teaching life. We're not teaching
Yes.
how to read by this. We're teaching you math through cooking. We're teaching you math through music or something like that, and reading. And so my daughter's directed her first play, and she had a lot of life lessons. And we were in the play with her because we more things we want to do, right? And so it was learning about communication, which is huge in business, is that communicating that everybody is on the same page. And
So your 8 kids,
yeah.
you do wow, amazing. So why did you decide, instead of, putting them in school, why did you decide that you realize that you need to homeschool them? Is it like because of the society, it's changing? So why
um,
is it the
I
reason?
think, well, my husband was homeschooled as a kid,
Ah, okay.
and I was not. And he had, well, this is what I noticed anyway. I really liked the way that he really went and was able to, it seemed like everything he really learned. Like I memorized stuff, took a test, got a good grade. He like really learned it. And that was for me. But I think the biggest reason that we decided to homeschool is we wanted to be with our kids and be part of that, the whole growing up experience.
Mm. Is
And
it
that,
hard? Is it hard or you're learning as well?
oh yeah, you're learning as well. There's so much that I learned again by teaching. We both have BAs, um, but still, there's you learn, and then you teach. Like for instance, my our eldest daughter, she read when she was like 4 years old. And really, what I
Mm.
did is she just kept asking me, "What word is this? What word is that?" And she just started reading. The next daughter was dyslexic and she didn't like read. So just having to change your teaching style with every child, and then what worked last year may not work this year. And so there are some things that are definitely hard, but it's also hard to get a child to all the different classes and work with the teachers, and that's also hard. So I it's hard to say what's really, but it's definitely, I would say, more rewarding in the
Mm.
homeschooling. And if there is anyone that is on the fence, just try it and give it like a year, because it will, a lot of people will just automatically say, I can't do that, but they have to try and know that it's nothing like public school. If you do it completely different, it's apples and oranges.
Mm.
So yeah.
because because there's a lot, right, that school not teaches that you don't, teaches in home, something like that. Like
Right.
in homeschool, like you teach them, like, like the total mindset, like, actual or practical mindset, right, that
Mhm,
didn't teach
mhm.
in school. So
Exactly.
right.
Yeah, so it's
Mm.
more of that. um yeah, how is this going to apply? How is this going to help me succeed in life? How is this going to, and our kids can talk to anyone, because they're they're not just in their single age group. They have to figure out how to get along with everybody, and that's been really helpful for them in getting jobs. They're able to relate to different age groups.
Do you have already a child right now that's already working,
I
the
have
24?
three that are working.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you already foresee some of your children that will gonna follow your footsteps as an entrepreneur?
Oh, yes. Actually, most of them probably will. Yes, they all have that in their
So you teach
heart.
them, aside from, academic school, you teach them how to become an entrepreneur as well.
Yes, most
Wow.
definitely. So, yeah, yeah, and it's been amazing. Yeah.
So tell us, talking about, being an entrepreneur, tell us about your journey. What inspired you, to pursue your current path, your current career path, and become an entrepreneur, and start your own business.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, um, when I was, I don't know, even younger, or wherever I was, I always wanted to help other people. That's what I wanted
Mm.
to do. But I would have to say, as I had jobs, I would get bored very easily. And I always wanted to, and my husband as well, he would always want to improve, improve, improve. And people are like, just kind of hang out here, you just kind of get paid. And, and so when we were in a place where the jobs were not well paying, we knew that in order to make like an actual like income that we would like, we would have to start our own business. And then you have get on that entrepreneur, journey of the ups and the downs on that. And I just came to a decision one day, and this was just a couple of years ago, because we had a different business. We had a tech support business.
Mm.
And then it was a few years ago, and we'd gone through our ups and downs and downs and downs. And I just knew that if I continued on the path that I was going, I was not going to reach or achieve or maintain any of my dreams. And I was not willing to let go of that. So I just put my heels in and said, okay, what is it in my life that has to change in order for me to achieve my dreams? And I knew I had to go into finances, because that was the part that was holding me back. And so I became a financial professional and started to learn about making money. And then I'm now teaching other people how to make money. And the
So
more,
you
go ahead.
mentioned about you love to help other people? Is it like specifically women only, or in general you help both?
It's in general, as a
Okay.
family, our heart, like with the kids and my husband, and myself, we like to help the young adults, the ones that are starting out. But in my heart, on my own, I do have one course that's going to be mostly for women who are starting over like me. And maybe they've lost a job, or maybe they were a stay at home mom and their kids all graduated, and it's
Mm.
their time, and they need to figure out what they want to do for their dreams to come true. And that I get really excited about helping people.
Wow. Is it like ongoing, when it will gonna be released, or
Yes,
launch?
yes. In August, in the middle of August, I think it's the 16th and 17th, I'm going to be a speaker on a summit with 24 other women. Yes, and it's Women Loving Life. So I'm really, really excited about that.
So how did everything start? Like, what convicted you and committed you, like, you love to help women,
Mhm.
especially in terms of finances.
I think it's because it can be such an impossible barrier, like, to
Mm,
overcome. There's so many mind blocks that we put in front of ourselves, especially as caregivers. So we feel that we're not worth maybe making money. Like, if you're helping someone, maybe you can't charge them money. And it's just kind of really figuring out that we are worth more than what we say, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom. You are 24/7 on, on as mom, and that's something
yes.
you do for free. So how
Mm.
do you then turn around and say, I'm not mom anymore? Where do I set my value? How do I charge to help somebody if I've done it for free for the past 20 years?
So
So,
if it's free, why did you make it for free? Like, I'm so just curious,
oh, sure.
what's your conviction as to why you wanted to help, people to have financial freedom for free? Like, is it
Oh,
a master
they
class?
yeah, it's not for free. That they wouldn't I mean, the stay-at-home mom, you do that for free, but the financial freedom is not free. There is
Mm,
always there's always a cost,
yes.
whether it's financial or, just to being on a journey, there's always a cost. And I believe that having skin in the game and putting down that money to grow more money is definitely important.
What's your definition about, differences about men and women? Like, do you believe that are women more disciplined than men in terms of handling money, or not?
Um,
Because,
I think
yeah,
what's
go ahead.
interesting is I don't know if they're disciplined, but what's funny is I believe that women are less emotional when it comes to money, that they handle it in more of that even keeled more so than men. And it's
Mm,
generally speaking, of course, but but in most cases, that's the one that's not, if you see, um, even like I read a book, Psychology of Money, and he speaks to that as well, that women just, they handle money in a not as emotional as men do. Yeah.
can you tell me about more about the true abundance? Like, can you
Sure.
tell me all of the business, all about how did it start? How long is your business running?
Yes. It hasn't been running very long. We are really new. It has been in the making for a while, but it's still really, and it came out of just really wanting to. We've struggled up till now with finances in our lives and building businesses, and just it not always working out, and then realizing that we it's good to open your mind and remove the blocks And then as things started opening up, it was like, oh, it's all related. It's all connected. Oh, it's like, it's not just about my thoughts on money. It's even my relationship with this other person. Maybe I don't want to, do anything with them because I feel like I can't do anything, like I don't have enough money to be their friend. Or maybe yeah, there's just like I can't go out because I don't have enough money, or I can't do this because I don't have enough money, and it was always in the way. And then it was like, well, we can do resourceful, you can do all this stuff without money. And it was just getting like, it's like money's not everything, but it is attached to all these different little things, with your health and with your relationships, and your spirituality. How does God feel about money? And can I still serve God and be rich? Because I see some people, and then it's like,
Mm,
you know what
mm.
I mean? It was like, can I really be a good person and, you know, help people and still charge them money? And it was like all of that just kind of went, we want an abundant mindset. There's enough, there's more than enough for everybody. So we just got out of that scarcity mode and got into that, I just, freely give, freely
And
receive.
God loves business owners, right?
He
That's
does.
on the
He
Bible.
does.
Yeah.
Yes. He loves us all. And yeah, in fact, that's how if I get frustrated with somebody, I just tell them God loves them just as much as he loves me. And
And
I will endeavor to do the same.
people needs like someone like you, like who can help them not just financially but their purpose in life, especially
Yes,
if they have purpose in God, because sometimes they kind of overwhelmed with money, with everything, and they forgot who is really the main source of everything, right?
yes. Yeah, and attaching yourself to that main, because that's where our help, that's where our peace, that's where
Yeah.
that connection is, that can, in the times of turbulence, we can anchor in. It's kind
Mm.
of like, there's a song that I really like. It's like, fly like a banner, anchored yet free. And I love that. Yeah.
So tell me, like, you started this business with your husband, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So how is it feeling? Like, how is it feeling that you work with your husband? Is it fun? Like,
It,
is there sometimes that you argue with, small things in business, or you are in the same page every now and then? So
well,
how is it feel to have a business partner, with your husband?
it's great. He and I, when we met, because we went to Bible college in a very, very, very small Bible college. So it was like 400 people in the whole college. So it was like living in a fishbowl. Everybody knew everybody's business. And he and I were like really, really good friends. And so we started out 4 years of just being friends, and then we just got married. Um, so we always have worked well together, and we realized that when one of us would work, because one of us always was a stay-at-home parent, and so when one of us had the job and one was doing the homeschooling, it was really stressful. When we had our own businesses, like our business together, we worked really well, because then we could just like double team everything, and that worked out well. So we actually work better together. We always say we share a brain, so we work together
Mm.
way better than we work apart. And I think it's probably not normal, but that's who we are. Just definitely not
Is
normal.
he
No one has ever
is
said
he
that.
is he working with corporate job before, and then really start become an entrepreneur?
Yeah,
Both of you are working in corporate job, right?
we are both just entrepreneur. Actually, some of the kids are like doing that work now. They're being the ones that are going out and working, and then we're focusing on the entrepreneur, and the other ones are in school still. So it's really been like a family kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So family business, something like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
So, I just want to let this know, like the best money management differs for every person, right? So how could some could adapt like the 40, 2020 rule, while others could not. So others
Mm-hmm.
could also stick to and grow with, envelope system with a money
Right.
manager app on their phone. So while others could not. So for you, what's the best money discipline or habit, you can give in general,
In general,
especially in women, especially in women.
especially women, I like to, now, this is me personally, but I like to stay away from anything that is going to hold you, like make you stressed. So I like the stress free approach. And, well, for women, I like an intuitive approach to money and be like, okay, this is what I want. This is like the need and the want. And then you have the, like the fun and the travel, the emergency savings, and then the
Mm,
growing savings. Those kinds of things, and and like the insurance and how you're, using all those different things, but to work on it, um, with what you have right now, and not to stress out on what you don't have right now. And I believe that, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's kind of like what works for you, because there are so many options and it does work. So somebody who's very likes to do a budget and I say let's do a free thinking exercise, they'll just freak out, and it's better for them to stick to a budget. Others would be like, I can't do anything because I'm stuck to my budget. So I mean, it does really depend on that person. So that's why we do coaching and group coaching, so that people see that there is more than one way to do this. And um, and just to keep the stress level down. It's like, just start out with, you know what, it's okay. There's no guilt, there's no anxiety. You have that, you're not like a bad person. You're for sure, your credit score is not a life sentence. These things go up and down all the time. Just relax and know that it's going to be fine, and whatever you want, it's going to happen. You just have to figure out what it is you want.
Speaking of budget, you mentioned about budget. Um, are you like targeting or your clients only in entrepreneurs, or you are open with corporate job people that's currently working right
Oh yeah,
now?
open to anybody. Yeah, we're open to
Okay,
everybody, but we tend to cater toward the young adult
okay.
women.
Especially for those young adults or working with corporate job, like, is
Hmm.
it important that they need to save first before opening a business or becoming an entrepreneur? What's your takeaway for that?
Hmm. It's hard to say. Um, the the stress, like if their purpose is, I want to be, like if I'm in a toxic workplace, and if I continue with this job, and then I would say, instead of following my dreams, but I know that this job I have to stay in it for this, and I'm just going to lose my mind, that kind of a thing, I would say, get out of the job and, put that money there. But if it's like a job that they can be entrepreneur at the same time, then there are some really great ways to save money while you're in that
Mm,
job and put it towards your business. So
mm,
you can, do both for sure. And then your business or your job can pay for your business. There's a lot of, great businesses that have low overhead that you can do on the side without a lot of time, and you can really manage. It's more managing your time than your money, is what I would say. If you're doing an entrepreneur, if you're starting an entrepreneur and having a full-time job, it's time management. as well. Um, and then just making sure that the people that support you are on board with you. So that communication as well. For me, I had to quit because I couldn't do two jobs
That's
at
my
once.
question, though.
Yeah,
That's my next question. Is that what you do before, like
I
before
would
starting
never
a
ever
business?
be able to maintain a business, homeschool, and do it. Just I have now. I personally have an issue that my performance at my job would have to suffer, and so I would have had to um, get like a demoted position that didn't take any brain power and do that, but my commute was so long that it would have not made sense to just commute back and forth in the time that it took. So I was working like 55 hours a week if you counted in the, well, yeah, 55 hours a week with the commute times. I was away from my family, which was against my like value system, so it hurt emotionally. So when I became a financial professional, I was in it for a few months and then I had to quit my job. And so it did, you still had to like tighten up your belt and everything, but I still believe it was the right choice for me. So
Mm.
I wouldn't tell somebody go quit their job, but I wouldn't tell someone necessarily to stay either. It really, really depends
It's their
on
choice.
their
It's their
choice.
choice. Mhm.
Yes, yes.
So, do you believe that everyone or every people needs a financial freedom? And what do you think? What is the financial freedom?
I think that's an amazing question. I think, well, to answer your second question first, financial freedom is a lot of different things to different people. The way that we define financial freedom is doing whatever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want.
Mm.
And so if you want to live like in an RV and you can keep your costs down to, $1,000 a month, and you're bringing in $5,000 a month, you can pretty much do whatever you want. And it's financial freedom. That might be what that happens. Although I would strongly suggest to have that savings in case anything goes wrong, insurance to cover, you know, anything happens, the long-term care, because if you do live in an RV, there is a little bit more work on your body, and you are moving, that it's not like a leisurely as it looks lifestyle. And so it wears on a person. So financially, but that's what I would just say, as it would depend on the person. There's some people that $4 million a year isn't enough to retire on. So it's what you think. Yeah.
Okay. So about financial freedom, is it like true that, our lifestyles, could affect our spending habits? And
Oh
then,
yeah.
of course, money management is always advice of financial advisors, right? To people who are extra big spenders. So how can, these people, reduce their daily expenses without feeling deprived? How they
Mm-hmm.
can really change their lifestyles? What habits do we really need to have and avoid in order to be financially free?
Well, I think if you know what you really, really want and need, so
Mm,
I think that is the big thing. So I don't like the idea of saying that I have to save for retirement so I can't go out with my friend, because I like to say, let's make more money than reduce spending. That seems like fun. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, I'll spend this because I'll make more. If you have a plan to make more, and to figure out how you're going to do that, because it's always nice to have a way that you're making passive income instead of having two jobs. Have a business and a job, so now you're going to have, you build that business, but it's still time versus money until you can make it like, like a course or evergreen, something that's paying you passive income. So once you get the passive income going, that helps more with financial freedom, where you know that you can increase income rather than reducing spending. But it depends on what your priorities are and how you want to live your life now and how you want to live your life later. And then
Speaking
you
of,
never know, because of the future,
yeah,
you really don't know.
yeah, you're right. You never know what would be the future is, right?
Hmm.
And then you need really to have like money management, right? So that
Yeah.
you can you can really save for the future. Is it
Yes.
possible, like, not just in corporate job but in business owners or entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
they have this bad habits but they are in the business? Is it possible to do, even though they are already entrepreneur or business owners, they are managing money? Is it like possible with them that they tend to, like, spend money without thinking?
Oh,
Is it
yeah.
possible for business owners?
Oh, sure. Sure. Anyone could, you know, I mean, we all do what we know we're not supposed to do, or, you can have, and sometimes that's why businesses are made, is because somebody did something and they realized that didn't work. And so they're going to teach a lot of people now on how to manage their money the way that's going to be profitable for them. But yeah, I think people still, use their money unwisely while they're teaching somebody. My mom, she remembers her stepdad always telling her, "Do as I say, not as I do." But um, they'll either come around or understand, and it might work for them. There's sometimes that people manage everything wrong, and somehow something turns out right. I don't know
um
if that answered your question, though.
yes, yes. Bethany, as a Christian, you're a Christian, right? Is it
Yes.
true that we should always consider, tithing and offering when, doing this money, you know financial freedom? And then as a Christian, we are we are entrepreneur business owners, we're doing a lot of money. Is it true that we also do like a tithing for an offering to, to church? I
Mhm.
read
Yeah.
me I believe in that. So how did your financial status change because of this?
Well, actually, it's kind of like, I feel that it's still that personal decision
You
what
and God.
between you and God. Yeah.
Mm.
I wouldn't tell someone um, that their finances are dependent on tithing. My husband and I went through an interesting journey on that particular subject, where we decided, instead of really the tithing, we went with like the first fruit, and we gave like more of like just everything. Do you know what I mean? It was more like
Yes,
we
yes.
dedicated it all,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
really opened up, and it wasn't always to the church. It was
To God.
to God. Yeah, how do
Yeah.
you want me to use this? How is this going to be a blessing to people? And it was a private thing to people. I know other people that I found out later that that's how they used their tithe. Was they put one of my daughters through uh, pre-K, like it was a private pre-K, and she felt that God told her that this little girl needed a pre-K and paid for it, and that was her tithe. And that was, I didn't find out till I didn't. Well, I found out. I didn't know who it was. But I found out because someone said, "Oh, someone paid for your daughter. Would you like to enroll her?" I was like, "Oh,
Mm.
yeah." So it was, I mean, it was beautiful, and it was very, very helpful, and she did need that little bit more of social, because she met a really good friend there, and those two were really good. So anyway, it really was amazing. So that's what I say. I'm very, um Yeah, I just really, really feel that it is a between tithing and
You
money and God is a personal.
yes,
Yeah,
and it's important that what I've learned from you is like you obey God. Like it's really important that you have obedience with God, and it's really
yeah,
between you and God. It's a real relationship with God. Not includes with other people, not with
yeah.
includes with the church. It's an obedience, and it's a real relationship with God.
It is.
Right.
'Cause we're all, it's my favorite verse in the Bible is love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. We are all like connected, and there is that's what it's about, you
So
know.
that's one scripture you love. Is it like
Yeah.
connected in abundant,
It
true
is,
abundant in
and
life?
that's what's
Okay.
very, very amazing is it is that, John 10:10, Jesus came to the earth to, have life and live more abundantly. It's not about just getting by, it's about living. It's about enjoying and experiencing life, not just keeping your head down and going to work, and it's just it's about what can you experience? What did
And how
God
you
call
can
you to
and how
do?
you can serve other people, right?
Yes, yes. Because everybody has a calling on their heart.
Mm,
And if
mm.
you don't know what it is, contact me. I will help you find
Yeah. I'm so amazed. So
it.
yeah, I am really like I'm really happy. Like I'm talking entrepreneurs that have really faith in God. That's
Yeah.
what really I have goosebumps with. So yeah, what experience you were amazed by in your company through abundance? So how what's like your fulfillment so far when you started this business with your husband.
Well, I think it's always about the people and how they are, um, when they say you bring me joy. I was having I feel like I have hope now, or um yeah, I never thought of it that way. Oh, I can do this. Oh, okay.
Mm.
Wow. I think, yeah, I think one of the biggest ones is I was able to help a woman retire from her toxic job and get her all covered on life insurance. And then the month after that, she got diagnosed with cancer. So she would have never been approved for life insurance ever again. So it was like it got all taken care of and she'll be cured. She will live through the cancer, but she has now started this transformation in her finances, in her spirituality, in everything that she does. She has now become, who she is, who her best self is. And it was very interesting. And she got on the phone with me. She goes, who would have ever imagined it started with insurance? But that's where it started with her transformation.
So this woman, is it like she is retiring for her job, and then
She Yeah,
she's also already this age that
yeah.
okay.
She was at retirement age. She was probably past it, didn't think she could retire. And I looked at her finances and said, you can retire. This is what we need to do, and you can retire.
So she started her business. What does she do?
She hasn't started a business, but she was able to retire from a job.
Hmm.
And now she can spend time with her granddaughter.
And I believe about retiring, there's no, saying in the Bible about retirement, right? We always have a purpose in life. Like even
Yeah,
though you are retired, you will
right.
gonna start, new season and a new journey with your life. Even
Yes.
though you're retired, then you will
Mhm.
gonna start a new season in your life, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes, very much so. I very very much believe that, and I think I know in America we tend to forget about the wisdom and what the elderly provide, what we could learn from, and I think a lot of times, and this is probably getting off the subject, but technology has kind of drawn us apart by saying, in a way, it started drawing us apart. But then the young kids came in and started taking, the elderly and teaching them how to use the computer. And now it's like a bond between like young kids and, their grandparents. And it's like, it looked like it was going to tear them apart, and then it brought them together. It doesn't matter what happens. If you want to be, it just seems like we always find a way to make it work, to grow
Work.
that relationship. Mhm.
Correct. So, tell me, what advice, would you give someone who is aspiring entrepreneurs or following your
Mm,
footsteps, maybe, and maybe become an entrepreneur or financial advisor or want to start
mhm.
a business? So, what do you advise,
Oh,
you know, you'd
I
tell them?
would say, if it if it has ever crossed your mind that this is something you would like to do, you need to do it. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And if you want to be, I mean, this is challenging. This is self development. This is everything that will rock your boat, will be in that entrepreneurship. If you want to be your best self, this is probably the way to do it. Yeah, I would say go for it. And if you don't feel ready, then do it anyway. That, I mean, that is definitely, you just kind of jump, and then think about it later, because you can always change it. That's the thing. It doesn't, just because you say I'm doing this sort of business, it doesn't mean that 5 years later you can do a totally different business. It's your business.
And you need to start before you are ready, right? You need to
Oh,
start
definitely
now.
start before you're ready. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, start before you're ready. You'll never be ready. Actually, I did hear this woman, and it's
Yes, yes.
actually her
You never be
business.
ready.
Yeah, 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 exactly. And she's like, "Oh, my business is about like starting before you're ready." And they said, "Why?" She goes, "Because I waited too long to do my business." She started when she was 76. I waited too long, is what she said. Isn't that
Mm,
amazing? But she still has a
yes.
business, and she's still going, and she's still 70. So I mean, it's
And
like, yeah,
and the important thing is, like, it's not about them, it's not about yourself, it's about who will they gonna pass the business on, like,
right.
for the next generation,
Yeah.
right? That's the
Yeah.
important thing.
Oh, here's another thing that actually really, really, really spoke to me. And I believe a woman said that even if you do exactly the same thing as someone else in that business, there's still somebody out there that you are the only one that will be able to help them. So even if it's
You're right.
exactly the same, still do it, because someone needs your help, and
So in
you're the
short,
only one that
in
can help
short
them.
so in short, we have a different calling, different skills, unique talent, right?
Yes, yes.
So yeah, Bethany, tell me, how can listeners can reach you and find out more about your wonderful coaching business? They
Yeah.
can I can put that in below.
Sure, sure. Yes. Trueabundance.us is our website. And you can email me actually at kennedyfamilyfinancial@gmail.com.
Okay. Tell us, now before we wrap it up, because we were gonna wrap it up. Tell us a fun fact about yourself that people don't know.
Oh, let's see. What's a fun fact? This is the one I like to tell people. When I was 16, I overcame my fear of jumping off a thing. So I jumped off like a small cliff into glacier water and swam to safety. and, that, and that's my big story when I was 16. there was a group of us. It was all, safe. They were making sure everybody got there, but I was able to do it on my own strength to not get pulled out of the water. I was actually able to jump off a cliff and swim to shore.
But you're still, you still manage that.
I did. Yes.
So yeah, is it like your master class is free? I just want to make sure so
Yes.
that
So we
okay,
have a
got it.
master class that is free. I also have a freebie as a dream spark to help you find your calling. That's also free. And then,
Okay.
yeah.
So indeed, you're a woman abundant in wisdom. Really, I really learned a
Oh,
lot.
thank you.
And then you're such a blessing, Bethany. And I think we can, have more conversation about, homeschooling, in their next season
Sure.
or next episode, I guess. And I hope you and Joel help, a lot more people to become really, financially free. If you go, if you guys want to know more about them, and their business, visit throughAbundance.us and grab their free masterclass. FREE, it's free, guys. Yeah, don't waste chance. See yourself living in financial abundance. Thank you so much, Bethany.
Thank
Lovely
you.
to meet you, and I
You
really
too.
hope like we can have our second episode. We can have our second session together, and then we can connect
That would
for
be
that.
wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.